and I'll share the PDF. Okay, so let's talk about some more questions. We were doing these questions yesterday. So this is another question. It says, a cuboid has length L centimeters, width W centimeters, and height 8 centimeters. The diagram shows the net of this cuboid. So you can see this net. Basically, this is basically an unfolded version of a cuboid. If you start folding the sides, this would make up a cuboid. So the ratio of width to length is 1:2. Find the value of L, the value of W, and the value of H. Okay. Now for this question, we need to make the equations first, and then we would be able to solve it easily. So first equation is there. It's already made for you. This is W by L equals 1 by 2. So if I cross multiply, because I know I have two fractions only, I can cross multiply this. This is going to give me 2W equals L. So this is my first equation. For the other equations, I need to understand the diagram. Okay, let's have a closer look at the diagram. So what do I see? I see that this side is 20.1. Okay, I can say this clearly, it's 20.1. But what exactly is 20.1? So H plus this width plus this is 20.1. Okay, that is good. Now I need to write down this side as W, H, or L. So what do you think? What exactly would be this side? Don't you think this would be H? Because if I start folding this length should be equal to this length. Okay. And since this length is H, so this is also going to be H. So I know this would be H as well. So I can write it down as H. And now I know, since all of this is 20.1, so what exactly is 20.1? 20.1 is equal to H plus the width, that is W. Since this is the width, so this would also be the width plus H, and this would give me 20.1 equals 2H plus W. So this is the second equation. So far we got two equations. Now I would want you guys to think about it and find the third equation using this 37.8. I'll just rub all this, and yeah, now you can think about it. We have L. We need to find this. We need to find this. We need to find this. But you guys know it, these three question marks would either be L, H, or W. So using that, you can think about it. Yes, Turhan and Sareem? Walaikum assalam. Yes, how are we going to make the third equation? Do you know? Using 37.8?
Could it be 37.8 times 10?
Sorry, can you please repeat it again? I was not able to hear you.
27.8 times W.
Okay, 37.8 is equal to what? Okay, this side is L. So 37.8 equals L plus, and what would be these three question marks? What do we see? We see an open unfolded net of a cuboid. So you need to imagine, if you start folding up these sides, which side would be parallel with the other
Yeah.
one?
So the one next to 37.8 is also L.
Yes, can you please speak a bit louder?
This the question mark next to the 37.8 is
Hmm.
also L.
Okay, Sanim, can you tell me? Yes, Sanim. 2H and 1W. Yes, that would be for 20.1, and it is done. Okay, we're talking about 37.8. This side is L. This side would also be L. So if that side is L, this would be L. Okay. Then what about these question marks? So far we have L plus these question marks. Okay, we are looking for these. So this is going to be H, and this is also going to be H. Okay, not because this length matches this length. Yes, you can also think about it that way. But if you start folding this, you will see which side would be coming parallel to these sides. Okay, and then you would be able to understand this thing. So it is going to be L plus H, and then the final one is going to be 37.8 equals 2L plus 2H, and this is the third equation. Okay, so we got three equations and now we need to solve them. I'll write it down here. So 20.1 equals 2H plus W, and then 37.8 equals 2L plus 2H. So 2 and 3. So just focus on these three equations, and we need to find the value of L, W, and H. Means we need to solve them simultaneously. Okay. Now for solving this simultaneously, we have multiple methods. So we can just use the value of L and plug in here. So this would give me 37.8 equals 2 into 2W plus 2H. And now I have equation 2 and 4 in terms of H and W only. So I can simplify this, and this would give me 37.8 equals 4W plus 2H. Okay. Now we know for solving simultaneous equations, we have multiple methods and we can do it any way, whatever way we feel like. But since I can see that this 2H and this 2H is same in 2 and 4. So I can subtract both the equations. Okay. I can do it this way. 4 minus 2. So I'll be subtracting the left hand side. 37.8 minus 20.1 equals 4W plus 2H. This is the right side of equation 4 minus the right side of equation 2. That is 2H plus W. And what am I going to get? 37.8 minus 20.1 would give me 17.7 equals 4W plus 2H minus 2H minus W. This and this would be cancelled, and 17.7 equals 3W. I'll zoom out, and W is going to be 17.7 divided by 3, and the answer would be 5.9. So we got W as 5.9. Now using this W, I can find L. So L is 2W. So it would be 2 into 5.9. Can you guys please find the values of L and H quickly? I would want you guys to participate as well. So L would turn out to be 11.8, okay? And I would want
11.8.
the value of H. Yes, very good, Turhan. And what about the value of H? Yes, well done, Saneem. Yes, Turhan, can you please tell me the value of H? You can use equation 2, okay? You can use this or you
Yeah.
can use 3. That's completely your choice. So 20.1 minus W equals 2H. And then H is going to be 20.1 minus W. That turned out to be 5.9
It's
divided
2.1.
by 2. Okay. So this would give you 7.1. This is going to be the value of H. Okay. So I'll zoom out and now you have everything in front of you. Please take a minute and try absorbing it. This question was all about understanding the diagram. Equation 1 was made directly using this. It was given. And for the other two equations, I used 20.1 and 37.8. You should have these imaginative skills just so if you have a net of any diagram, any 3D figure, you can imagine that how to put things together to make the shape again. Okay, and that is how I knew that this would be H and this would also be H. All right. Okay, so this was the first question. This is the eighth question. Let's talk about the second part of this question. Here it is. So I'll zoom in again. Okay. Now it's very important. Please pay attention. It says the diagram shows a solid pyramid with a rectangular base ABCD. E is vertically above D. Angle EDC is equal to angle EDA. So where's angle EDC? Angle EDC is equal to angle EDA, that is given. Both of them are right angle, that is 90 degrees. AB is 18 centimeters. We can see that BC is 15 centimeters. We can also see that, and EC is 24 centimeters. So everything is given in the diagram. Okay. The pyramid is made of wood and has a mass of 800 grams. Calculate the density of the wood. So the formula for density is given. It is mass over volume. We need to work out the volume of this pyramid. Okay, and here's the formula for volume of the pyramid. So we need to find the base area. Base area is very simple. It has a rectangular base. The length is 18, the width is 15. So the base area would be 15 multiplied by 18. Let's talk about the volume first. So volume would be 1 by 3 multiplied by the base area, that would be 18 into 15 multiplied by the height. So it says the diagram shows a solid pyramid with a rectangular base. E is vertically above D. Okay, so it means that ED is basically your height. This is your
Yeah.
height. So please tell me, how do I find this height?
Pythagoras theorem.
Very well done. Excellent. Okay, very good. Ma'am, what's the difference between a prism and a pyramid? All right. Okay, so basically, let me see if I can quickly take out the shape for a prism, just so it's clear. Okay, I'll share this image on the WhatsApp group. Okay, just so it's clear. A triangular prism could be like a pyramid, okay, but not all the prisms are not like a pyramid, but one specific type of a prism could be a pyramid. So I'll be sharing this quickly and you would understand this. Okay, I've shared the image on the group. You can just open up the chat and what do you see? We have 6 different types of prisms. The basic shape of a triangle is then the triangular prism. Square prism is like a cube, it's a square. Rectangular prism is basically a rectangle, and the thickness has increased, and now it has become a 3D shape. So in fact, the triangular prism is not your pyramid. Okay, pyramid is something that has a sharp point on the top. You can think about it as a stone as well. Okay, since if you are guys studying chemistry, so we talk about the shape of a few stones. So there, I don't remember the stone, I think it was diamond or something of that type. But yeah, this is a pointed tip. Okay, so that is the difference. Prism could be made out of any shape, but pyramid is not the case. All right, very good. So you have got the idea. Okay, now we were talking about the height. So excellent, Turhan. So Sanim, can you tell me how to find this height of the pyramid? It is h basically. So it is a right angle triangle. This side is 24, this side is 18, this side would also be 18. So we can use Pythagoras theorem to find h. So we know that. Very good. Okay. So 8 squared plus 18 squared is equal to 24 squared. So h would turn out to be under the root 24 squared minus 18 squared. So please simplify this and tell me the value of height. This should be the value. Yes, and you can find it in decimal numbers as well. And now let's find the volume. So the volume of this pyramid is going to be 1428.71. Okay, this is the volume, and now I need to calculate the mass that is already given. It is 800 grams. So for finding the density, we do mass divide by volume. So mass is 800 divided by 1428.71, and this is going to give us 0.559 or 0.56 would also work. Okay, so this is going to be your density. For giving a good answer, you can also write down the units, like you can also say grams per centimeter cube, but this would also be acceptable, okay? Because there's no like it is okay if you are missing it out. But since we're talking about density, so we do know that it would be mass divided by volume. So the units of mass are grams, and the units are for volume are centimeter cube. So for giving a proper answer, since it is a 5-mark question, I would strongly advise, and this dash is basically for this. So we can light it down this way: grams per centimeter cube. Okay, because there's no uncertainty about the unit, so always prefer writing them down. Yes. All right. Okay. So this was the first part of the question. And yes, if it is a 5-mark question, you must write down the units. Okay. I initially did not have a look at the number of marks, so I don't know why I said that, but units are a must. Never ever miss them. Even if obviously the examiner would not be telling you to write down the units, you need to be careful enough to write down the units every time. Okay. So units are mandatory. All right. Okay. So this was the first part of this question, and it was clear the formulas were given. The only trick was finding h. We were able to do that, and that is it. All right. Let's talk about the second part of this question. Now it's very interesting, and it's also a 4-mark question. It says calculate the angle between BE and the base of the pyramid. Let's scroll up. BE. Okay. This is BE. This is the line BE. I'll erase everything else. Here's BE, and the angle is basically between BE and the base. So it is something of this type. Okay. That is my base. So this would be the angle. All right. Okay. So you can also say that it is this angle. That is also fine. You can also say that it is this angle because it is basically being made with the base. Yes, very well done. Excellent. Okay. So first we need to find DB. Very good. Okay. So you are going to find this. Okay. This would be a line. Very good. Okay. And then very good. Okay, perfect. So, Turhan, can you please tell me how to find DB?
Um,
Sorry, I was, yeah, now I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
we can use 5 factors theorem again.
Sorry, Turhan, can you
We can
please?
use 5 factors
Very
theorem
good.
again.
Very good. Excellent. And which two sides?
AB and AD, or
Very good.
or
BC.
CD and
Very good.
BC.
Yes, excellent. Very well done. Okay. So you can find DB using Pythagoras theorem. This would be the hypotenuse side. You can use this part because it is a rectangle. So we know this would be right angle, and that side is 15. So DB square would be equal to 15 square plus 18 square, and DB would turn out to be very well done, Sareem. 23.4. Excellent. Okay. So this would be 23.4. Okay. This is 23.4. Very good. Okay. Now this is 23.4. What else do we know? We were able to calculate the height in the previous part. That was h. And that turned out to be 6 under root 7. So this height is 6 under the root 7. So I'm talking about this side. So you have this side and you have this part. So now what do we use? Yes, this is your triangle. This is the angle which we are interested in calculating. So can we use trigonometric ratios for this part? Because again, the triangle EDB is a right angle triangle, right? Because ED was the height of the pyramid. So this angle with the base of the line ED would also be 90 degrees. So we are interested in finding out this. So the side opposite to this angle is this, it is given. So we have the perpendicular side and we have the base. Very good, excellent, Turhan, we will use tan, okay? So tan theta is basically through proper brushing. So perpendicular divided by base, and perpendicular side is 6 under the root 7 divided by the base, which turned out to be 23.4. So you can do tan inverse this and the value would be 34.1. Very well done, Saneem. Your answer is correct. So it is going to be 34.1 degrees. Okay, this is going to be the angle tan inverse of that basically. Yes. Any doubts with this, Turhan? Anything that you were not able to understand?
No, ma'am, I did.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I assume this is clear. So let's talk about the next question. Here it is, and it's very interesting. Okay. It says the equation y equals x cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x can be written as this. Find the value of a. So this is an expression. We need to make this look like this first, and then I would be able to find the value of a. So step 1 would be separating x, because this is a quadratic equation and this is a cubic equation. So I'll separate x and I would be left with x squared minus 4x plus 4. All right. Now I need to think about it. So, okay. Now you can do this by the completing square method or thinking about it directly, right? So since we have this thing given and we can see that this is a perfect square, it means it would be a perfect square as well, okay? This is squared. I can get 4 if I write down 2 squared. So if this is 2 squared, this 4 would basically be coming 2 multiplied by this number multiplied by this number, that was 2. So it means this is a perfect square. So instead of doing it through long method, instead of doing it by completing the square, I was directly able to spot that this would be a complete square using this thing, that it is x minus a whole squared. So x would come as it is, then x minus 2 squared. Okay, if you were not able to understand it this way, you can just see x minus 2 squared is basically a squared minus 2 into x into 2 plus 2 squared. So this would give me x squared minus 4x plus 4. So this is what exactly it would look like. So this means a would be 2. Yes. Any doubts with this part? Anything that you were not able to understand, Turhan and Saneem? Please feel free to ask me. Is that okay? Okay. And what about you, Turhan? Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now on the axis, sketch the graph of this, indicating the values where the graph meets the axis. Okay. Now we need to sketch the graph. For this, we should know how to sketch a cubic graph. Okay. So we have two shapes. One shape is for x cubed and the other one is for minus x cubed. So if it is, let's discuss this first. If it is x cubed, it is something of this type. So we have 1, 2, and 3 points, and they are cutting the x-axis at 3 points. And if it is something of this, I'm not saying only x cubed plus something, 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 and minus x cubed plus something, something, something. So it would be something of this type. And again, we have 1, 2, and 3 points which are cutting the x-axis. Now, which points would be getting the x-axis? We'll come to that. So far, we need to talk about the basic shape. So, for our case, since the equation is positive x cube, so we'll be going with this graph. So it would be something of this type, but you cannot draw it just randomly. Okay, we need to think about the values at which the graph would be cutting the x-axis. Now we know when the graph is cutting the x-axis, the value of y is 0. After simplifying this, we got y equals x into x minus 2 squared. Okay, we know that on the x-axis y is 0, so we would have x minus 2 squared. So from this, x is equal to 0 and x minus 2 squared is 0. Okay. So what exactly does this mean? If x minus 2 squared is 0, it means we would be having two values at this point, right? So x is 0, x is 2, and it is 2. So basically these are my three values. All right. So let's make the shape according to this. My graph would be cutting at this point and then at this point. So basically my graph would be cutting at 2 points only. So let's see how to make that scenario. So it is going to be something of, yeah, it would be something of this type. So it's cutting at 1 point and then it would go down and this only. Okay, so this is basically 2 and this point is 0. So in short, for a cubic graph, the graph should technically cut the curve at 3 points only, just like a parabola should cut the curves at 2 points only. But we do see this type of a parabola as well. Okay, we do see this type and then this type. Both of them are correct. It totally depends upon your scenario. Yes, these are basically the turning points. Very good. So this time around, this is the turning point, right? And the x coordinate is 2 and you can find the y coordinate by plugging in 2. Right? Is that okay? All right. Okay. Perfect. So yes, Turhan, did you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if that is clear, then I have a question for you guys, and I would want you to make the drawing on paper and send it to me right now in 3 to 4 minutes on WhatsApp. I'll again write down an equation and you need to make the graph. Okay, so whatever the equation is, I'll simplify it for you. So let's say it is x plus 1, x plus 2, and x plus 3. Okay, this is basically the product. Here it is. Y equals this. Okay, so please use a paper, draw this graph, and send it to me on WhatsApp. Okay, I'll be waiting. I'll give you 3 minutes. So at 6:03 exactly, I would ask you for the answers. You need to make this. It would be a cubic graph again. Okay. Yes. Are you guys done? Please send me the pictures. And if you're not able to make it, you can let me know. Okay, that is completely fine. Okay, so I got Salim's answer, and that is correct. Very good. Excellent. Okay, and Turhan, what about you? Can you please send it to me? Yes, Turhan, are you there? Turhan, are you there? Okay, I'm not able to hear you. Anyways, very good, Salim. Your graph is correct. So basically, we know that for making this graph, x into x would basically give us x cubed. So the shape would be this one again. And for the intercept points, we need to plug in 0 for y, and that would give me x plus 1 equals 0, then x plus 2 equals 0, and then x plus 3 equals 0. So this would give me -1, -2, and -3. So the shape is going to be something of this type. This is -3, this is -2, and this is -1. And we need to we need to make sure that they are equally distant, because -1, -3, and -2 should be equidistant. All right. So this is how it is going to be. All right. Very good, Saneem. Excellent. So this was the next part, and let's talk about the last part of this question. Okay. Now it says it is a 7-mark question. Turhan, are you there? It's very important.
Yes.
Okay. It says find the equation of the tangent to the graph of y equals x cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x at x equals 4. Give your answer in the form of y equals mx plus c. All right. So let's make the shape quickly because we know how to plot this. So this is the graph, and the shape was something of this type. This point was 2, this point was 0. Okay. They want you to find the equation of tangent. What exactly is tangent? Tangent is a line which we are making at x equals 4. And let's say this is 4. So if I go up, this is the point where the x coordinate is 4, and this is going to be the tangent line. The tangent line is a line that is cutting the graph at one point only, and that point is this 4 and the y coordinate, whatever it would be. So we know how to find the equation of any line. Okay. For finding the equation of any line, we need the gradient, and other than the gradient, we need a point on the line. So for the point, we have this 4, and the y coordinate can be easily calculated by plugging in 4 in this x. So this would give me 4 cubed minus 4 into 4 squared plus 4 into 4. So this and this would be cancelled, and this is going to give me 16. So 4 and 16 is the point. But what about the gradient? How do I find the gradient of the tangent line? Can anyone tell me?
We take the first derivative and substitute 4.
Very well done. Excellent. You need to take the derivative. Turhan, do you know how to take derivatives?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very well done. So excellent. So let's do it together. Derivative would be 3 would come here, 3x squared minus 2 would be multiplied with this 4. So it would become 8x plus 1 would be multiplied with this 4, this would become 4, okay? And the old power would change by 1. So we will do 3 minus 1, 2 minus 1, and 1 minus 1. And this is how we calculate the derivative. All right. Once we have the derivative, we need to plug in this x coordinate, 3 into 4 squared minus 8 into 4 plus 4, and this is going to give you the value of the gradient. So, can anyone tell me what value is coming out for the gradient? Very good. It is 20. Okay, so it's 20. Now we have the point, we have the gradient. We are just supposed to use the basic equation, and it could be any equation. Whatever equation you're using, you can give the answer in this form. Okay, so that does not matter at all. So we can use this one. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. This is basically the point slope form, and you will see I'll simplify this to get this. Okay, this is the point intercept form or the slope intercept form, right? So y minus 16, that is my y1, equals m, that was 20, this is the gradient, into x minus 4. And now I'll simplify this, so it would give me y equals 20x minus 20 into 4 would give me 80 plus 16. So I am going to simplify this, and the answer is going to be y equals 20x minus 64. So this is my answer. Now m is 20 and the y-intercept is minus 64. So this means that this line would go on like this continuously, and it is going to cut the y-axis at minus 64. Okay, so this is how we find the equation of a tangent, and it was a very important question. It was for 7 marks. Although it is easy, but at your level, derivative, etc., that concepts, they are considered to be a bit difficult. But yes, this is the idea. Any doubts in these questions which we have discussed today? Please feel free to ask me. I'll scroll up again. Have we discussed those questions yesterday? No, ma'am, all clear. All right, then I'll stop sharing this. I'll stop the recording.